Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Friday the 13th, 2020. Close your doors, lock your windows. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Friday the 13th, November 2020. I hope you're having a great week so far. Hope you had a great week. I've got my co-host, Sandy Hall, from the Laughing at Disbelief blog over at Pathos and the Laughing at Disbelief channel here on YouTube. His links are below. He's going to be joining me in a minute. And Nokasuchi from the Rage channel here on YouTube. He's going to be joining me in just a moment. And we might even get funky in a little bit. We might have some John Funk joining us. He threatens to. He might actually be here this morning. We're going to talk stuff with him. I don't know what we're going to talk about with him. We're going to talk stuff, though. It's all kinds of stuff. Right after this. Good morning, everybody.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Do you like it?
Sometimes you can choose to not be a dick. Yes. Thank you.
I can't take it off. I can't take it off. Like, take it off. I can't. Take it off. I can't take it off. Like, take it off. I can't.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Andy Hall, Nokasuchi. How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm pretty
Good
good
week so far. Pretty good.
It's too early to tell. Check back
Too early to tell.
with me in a couple of minutes. We'll find out how things go.
I am still installing Java myself. I want to ask real quick before we get too far along. Hey, Nokasuchi, health check. How are you feeling with your cootie situation? How's the cooties? You're no longer cootified? How was your daughter? How'd she end up going with it?
really good. She hasn't shown any symptoms. I seem to be better. I've been having leg issues, but that has nothing to do with the cooties. So yeah, I haven't had any recurrences. My breathing's getting better. Today I'm gonna actually start exercising and get back out on my workout routine because I feel like I can breathe good enough now. So yeah, it's going really well. I want to thank everybody for the well wishes. All the people that helped me out through last month and are continuing to help me pay my bills this month. I want to thank everybody.
It's wonderful. We have a wonderful community. For those of you who are joining us and don't know, last month we ran a little fundraiser for Nock because he had the cooties and couldn't work, and so if you have a little extra coin, feel free to throw it at him because and the harder you throw it, the more it stings.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't need as much help as I did last month, and the supporters on the channel have been great. But yeah, the hours have been reduced. They told me to work my way in, and then the governor has put more stipulations on being out in public. So yeah, definitely money is down. I could use all the help I can get, but it's still better. I am working this month, so it is. Understood. I do have money coming in this month. If it wasn't for great friends in this community and supporters, I wouldn't have gotten through last month, and the Raging Atheist wouldn't be up this month still streaming. So I do want to send a special thank you to everybody that helped me out.
But Nock, what everyone wants to know about is the Wolverine Watchman situation there.
What's the situation?
They seem to be. I haven't seen them around. I think that they seem to be giving up on Michigan, maybe because they realize 140,000 votes a lot. But we'll talk, I'm sure, at some point today about what's going on in Georgia and all of that. But I haven't seen the militiamen. They've been very quiet. Now, the two groups that started the protest against the mandated shutdown here in Michigan, everybody saw it. The group they stormed the Capitol with their AKs and all of that. Yep. Those two groups, since Trump lost his file suit here, they have filed a lawsuit titled "The People of Michigan versus the Government" or something along that line, alleging voter fraud. So we'll see how long it takes for that to be thrown out.
Yeah. Well, they're doing that all over the place. It's just this constant attack, and we keep talking about the whole thing about how are our guys attacking them? How come our people aren't attacked? We need. Let me before we get too carried
the lefties
away.
we don't seem to be very violent. Like we'll talk smack, but we're not going to go and get violent with you usually.
No. right. No, what I mean is I guess I'm a little distracted by the show. I mean our politicians attacking them politically through legal measures. That's crazy talk. I know.
Distracted by the show.
Producing is hard, man. Like I do it in my open rooms. I'm like, I got this screen. I got to push this button and that button. And what did you just say? You know.
Preach. That's right. Before we get too far along, I want to say good morning to everybody in the damn nation. You folks are just wonderful. Thank you all for joining us. Hugs, Trina. Hugs, Neil. Good morning, Derek Cruz, Junk Shop Library, Lady Starfire. All you people are wonderful. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to everybody on all the channels and all the Facebook pages and groups who are watching. Thank you to the people who are watching on the daily. Sorry. TrumpFamilyTreason.com website, because I'm all proud of that one. Thank you all. And our people who are listening on the Daily Atheist Morning Show podcast. Thank you for joining us. Okay.
I did ask about the Wolverine Watchman, and okay, I promise this is going to be the last time I mention that word because I just love it so much, and I know it just
the name. It's the name.
It was 7:08 Nokasuchi. 7:08 and 15 seconds. Okay, we're marking it down.
Sorry, I found to be irritating at times, but the reason why I brought them up is because Proud Boys, they're doing the Million MAGA March in Washington on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Do you think they get a million MAGAs?
They're maybe a million maggots, but definitely not a million maggots.
First time hearing about it. Wow, I'm behind.
Well, let me read you an article because I have an article. All right, this is from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Clearly a legit, if not low quality news source. But that just might be my bias against all things Florida. But let me continue because I digress. Conservatives Conservatives will travel from South Florida to Washington, D.C. on Saturday to back Donald Trump's quest. He's like the man from La Mancha. He's on a quest to prove Democrats stole the election from him through fraud. It says it right there with A's, fraud. A march will include about 250 members of the right-wing Proud Boys group from around the country. And promoters include the Republican National Hispanic Assembly of Florida, with 9 chapters around the state. So basically, they say it's going to be a Million MAGA Man March, or People March, or Idiot March, or a March of Idiots. It'll be interesting to see how many people they actually get.
Right.
Yeah, I doubt they'll get a million.
I don't think it's going to be close to a million whatsoever.
Although I do hear, to where it is like 80% of America accept that Biden has won the election. 40% of Republicans don't. So that's a pretty big number.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that they use the Man of La Mancha as their...
Oh, that was my bit. I have to tell you. That was
yours.
Yeah, I know. Okay. It's difficult to keep track with my hummingbird brain. But yes, that was my the idea that they're on a quest.
You know what I do? I blame the show. I'm like, I was running the show. I didn't. That's what I do, Andy. Just pretend like you were running your part of the show. We'll be okay.
I'm just yes, Andy, my friend. Yes, and yes, and yes, and that's it. Right there.
Yes, Andy. Okay. But Andy, okay, good analogy though for the whole. Except for I actually like Don Quixote.
Sure. Well, you understand that. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the musical or the book. But
you don't want to break out in song.
From what I understand,
thou bleak and dumb bear. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
From what I understand, Don Quixote is not meant to be a. He's meant to be a tragic character and somewhat of a foolish character too.
That is a good point. Yes. Fun character. Yeah. I was the Man of La Mancha play down at the Globe in West Texas. Yeah.
Oh, very impressive. Very impressive. So there's going to be a bunch of these MAGA guys, MAGA people. I'm sure they're going to be all fitted up.
And it's just a bad idea. Antifa is in DC right now. Antifa is going to show in force. It's just a bad idea.
Do you call them a herd of maggots? Or
a herd of maggots.
Ooh, wait. I got it. A gaggle of maggots.
Oh, you took it, Chris. You took it from me.
Even better.
Oh,
Even better.
Bing.
yes, that's
Bing,
right.
what do you call them in groups? You know, it's like a millipede. There's not really 1,000 legs there. They just say there's going to be 1,000 legs there. More like 30 legs there. So we'll watch this thing, and it'll be like 90 people show up at their Million Man March.
Well, I'm sure
All right,
they'll be.
sorry about my
Somebody.
avatar today. We were trolling Vaughn. There was 9 people in a room with Vaughn Helton last night, and he was saying that his trademark is patented. So we all put up his trademark. I'll change it real quick.
It burns. It burns.
But I didn't mean to cut you guys off. Go ahead. Sorry. My daughter's like right here, and I don't want her on camera. So
Okay.
Right, so that's something
so-
we'll be able to watch during the weekend on
Yeah.
C-SPAN. Is these maybe 5 or 6 dudes walking around Washington
Right.
D.C. saying that they're protesting.
Yeah,
There'll be
I
more than
wonder
that.
how-
There'll be more, but it won't be a million.
Oh, of course. Naturally, I was being hyperbolic.
Yeah.
It's just that this is a recurring theme with them. They've done this before. You know, wasn't it one time they had a Million Man March, and it was for the men who believe women should be subservient. I don't remember what they're called. There was a group of religious guys.
Evangelicals? Is that what they're
No,
called?
well, yeah.
I
There's a
hate
specific group of them.
I hate that these douchebag groups are using the Million Man March because the original Million Man March, that was for civil rights, right? A million black
was
people
for
marched
sure.
on Washington, D.C.
It was a civil rights thing, but you know what? Knock, all lives matter.
Hey, all marches.
God.
Hey, you know, I gotta, let's see, the proper term is a grumble of maggots.
A grumble.
Okay.
I like that.
A grumble of maggots.
Grumble's
That's what
even
you call it.
better than gaggle because they all
I think-
freaking grumble all the time. You know?
Right.
Right, yeah, no, yeah, it's quite. I like it. We may have to keep that. All right, so
You know
here's
what I
the
think
deal.
we should do? This is what we should do. We should just set up a big GoFundMe page so that we can raise up enough money to give each one of these dudes in the march on Saturday like a bottle of Viagra, so that they
We can buy them pussy
go
hats.
and be happy. That's what they can be. Even if it's just being happy alone, you know, maybe they need some Viagra. Just
A
to
bottle
choose
of
their
Viagra and some hand lotion, because
Right,
you
you
know
know,
these
I
guys
mean,
are all.
Yeah. And instead of pussy hats, we can buy them penis hats.
Yeah, go enjoy the
They didn't
weekend.
got those. I'm a bad man. All right.
We
So
all
I was
are.
sitting
We
here this
all are.
morning. We all are. I was sitting here this morning. I was thinking, you know, next week I'm going to redeck out the show in a Thanksgiving-esque motif. Because that's how I was raised with tradition. It's just about tradition. And then my brain kind of went, maybe I should look into that first. Because, you know, I know Thanksgiving and Christopher Columbus are not the same. However, there is a similar, you know, something really ugly happened here, but you were taught he was a really nice guy who did wonderful things. With Thanksgiving, something really ugly kind of happened there, but we were taught that it was not ugly and it was good. So I had to stop and go, wait, maybe that's not the. So do we do a real Thanksgiving kind of motif where we have like images of white people murdering Indians in the background, or how white people took over camps where Indians had all died out because of the plague and stuff like? I mean, should we do that kind of Thanksgiving motif, or should we just go with the turkeys?
I don't know why we
Hands,
aren't
show of
talking about.
hands.
I don't know why we're not talking
Turkeys,
about my own
mass
personal
murder.
crisis. Being a vegetarian on the first Thanksgiving, I'm going to have to survive while being a vegetarian. I don't know what I'm going to do.
As a Native
That's the
American,
real
I despise Thanksgiving. I hate it. I will spend Thanksgiving talking smack about Thanksgiving. I won't practice the tradition. You're right, Chris. Like, it is, we're told as children that this is a great story, that Indians and pilgrims came together and got the pilgrims through the winter. What we're not told is 20 years later, those pilgrims genocided those very same Indians. So, but as an Indian, I understand tradition, and I never get offended when other people practice the holiday. I'll just go on my channel and I will rail about it all day long. You know, so if you end up doing like your traditional Thanksgiving motif, it's not going to offend me and I am an actual, I advocate for the rights and
Right.
Native American issues. So I don't think most would be offended, but most would tell you, yeah, that's a bad holiday.
Well, to be a little clear, that now with my raising now in school, they did the Indian thing. You saw Indians. I remember one of my first times that I thought I would actually grow up and be a funny person. Maybe it was actually Thanksgiving time, and I was posting. We had drawn a turkey with our hand, and it's like third grade, and I was up standing on a chair trying to post it on a wall, a pin, and it wouldn't stay. And I turned around and I said, I don't talk turkey. And the class laughed, and it like set off something in my brain, But other than the school, like at home, it had nothing to do with Indians, nothing to do with pilgrims. It's about, hey, the family's going to come over here. We're going to cook some dead bird. We're going to throw some potatoes at it, and we're going to stuff it with this stuff. And then we're going to gnaw upon it in front of God and everybody. And we're going to hug, and we're going to say bye. And that was it. There was no Indians involved.
Yeah, I think it's the holiday, the tradition is about family coming together. For us, it's about Lions football here in Michigan. We're going to lose, so we look forward to that. But so, and people practicing it that way, I have no issues with, and I enjoy that. But I do think that we need to educate, and hopefully schools still aren't teaching that atrocious fake story that they taught us when we were children coming up.
I just want to shout out to Phi in the chat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name, Phi, P-H-I. It's that the story of the Pilgrims didn't become popular until after the Civil War, and that is true. That is because the North wanted to make everyone know that the North was the bestest of the best. And so, yeah, Jamestown might have been here before the Pilgrims, but come on, they're slavers, and they lost the war. So it's all about the Pilgrims.
Right.
It's a bit of propaganda. It's a bit of propaganda.
The North made propaganda about the Indians that Andrew Jackson wearing North coats had just got finished slaughtering en masse. I'm just curious. Is that
so? After the Civil War, it was more about how awesome the North is, and so there was a specific campaign to let everyone know about the Pilgrims and saying amping up the Pilgrim story as against to the Jamestown story. Because they're like bloody treason people down there, and we want to like nurture the good, which of course are the Pilgrims. So that's the official propaganda line from and like I said, Phi just pointed that out in your chat, and so I just thought I would bounce off that. So yes, it is an interesting point about how the Pilgrims actually became as popular as they are. They were not always as popular as they are. So yeah.
Well, and the story is not the same story we're told as children. Clearly, it's nowhere near the same story we're told as taught in school, or at least I was taught in school when I was a little kid, sometime 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah, I remember doing the pageants. You always wanted to be one of the Pilgrims. You never wanted to be an Indian.
Right. Well, kidding aside, 40 years ago in school, that's what we got. When I was in school 40 years, but what the kids learn today in school. I really don't know.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things that just blew my mind. You think we're the first ones here, but whenever the Pilgrims moved inland, they did occupy at some point an abandoned village that had been wiped out by disease brought by European people who had come over down in South America years before. I mean, they were the Pilgrims, but they weren't the first Westerners here.
Well, yeah, and the Norseman Leif Erikson discovered North America officially first, and the Norsemen didn't carry with them disease, but what they did carry with them was milk. And Native Americans were lactose intolerant, and that created a genocide unintentionally up in Canada area.
I wonder how you accidentally drink. I mean, like you would see like those people over there drinking the milk, and you're like, they're dying. That's bad. I don't know.
Native Americans,
genocide.
They had never seen a cow before, let alone milk, so they were all lactose intolerant. So it made thousands upon thousands of people sick. And the Norsemen, they were like, it's milk,
What's wrong? Yeah,
we don't understand genetics or genes and stuff like that. We don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, I'm studying that little bit of history right now.
I may go with the wife, being the brilliant woman she is, suggested I go with just a fall theme. And I was like, well, I don't know, the fall of civilization theme.
Just keep it light, Chris. It's a morning show. It's a morning show with leaves.
Or that kind of fall.
That
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
fall.
You could just put pictures of Biden everywhere and say Thanksgiving.
Thank you, baby Jesus. Andy. Yeah, well, something we talked about before is that, now it depends on what happens with the thing. We'll probably venture away from the politics so much and just talk about whatever now, religion, if we can go back to religion, but over the next few weeks, I don't think it just depends on what's going on in the world, as to what we're talking about,
Well, I don't think the election is going to be over until after the Georgia recount. At least, Trump ain't going to, there's no chance of Trump conceding until that point anyway.
I doubt that he will concede at all.
Yeah, me too. I think this is probably going to go on at least through the inauguration.
I think he's considering conceding, because I'm hearing reports about how he's considering giving himself a pardon, which means he would have to step down on his last day, allow Mike Pence to become president, so Mike Pence could pardon him from all crimes.
It becomes an interesting question of whether or not Pence would actually do it, because he would be the Gerald Ford to Trump's Nixon, and things didn't work out well for Ford after pardoning.
Yeah. I think it would be suicide politically.
It would be, and I was actually talking with my girlfriend about this last night, and pro tip here: don't get into an argument with someone that you're hoping to have sex with within a very short period of time, because it's a downer. It just completely disrupts the entire vibe. But being who I am in the world, it's like, why not get into an argument right here and right now over something that really I have no control over? But that's the beauty of being Andy Hall right there. So I was trying to get into Mike Pence's head up here. Don't want to make it weird, but Pence strikes me as a true believer. It wasn't
weird.
he is, until I said it. He is a true believer, and he is someone who has he has a crazy belief system. There's no doubt about it. But at no point do I think he's faking it. I don't think.
Oh, right.
He is faking it. So the idea about Trump asking Pence to pardon him, I think Pence would have some deep. He'd be deeply reticent to do that, just out of his own personal convictions. Because it's one thing to be complicit in a crime. Right. It's one thing to have sins of omission. What's another thing to go balls in on this?
Yeah.
And,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know what Pence would do. I think it would be hilarious if Trump stepped down, made Pence president, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
No. Well, I just want to point out, I suspect highly that they've had that conversation. Trump would not do that without feeling completely comfortable about the security of that being the case.
Yeah, and it looks like they have had that conversation, because it's coming out of the White House now. Yeah.
And one of the things that I think I would like to see that, though, where both of you guys have said that, I'd love to see it happen, is in the Supreme Court. I'd love to see them get their thing and they're like, all right, we're going to run this up to the Supreme Court. And they get it up to the Supreme Court, and Amy Coney Barrett goes, listen, this is not right. This is wrong.
Is that angels? I hear harps.
That would be, I think that's, I think that's, no, it's got to be Nokasuchi. Remember, Sammy Jenkins just supported Nokasuchi's channel for the tune of $2 Australian dollars. So Ooh. I think I'm learning our own little alerts. So it's a little different. So thank you, Sammy Jenkins.
Perfect. So, Havoc 6927 in my chat says many legal scholars have said that preemptive pardons wouldn't hold up if challenged in the Supreme Court. It might have not held up in past Supreme Courts. Will they hold up in this Supreme Court? These are interesting questions, because until Amy Coney Barrett starts voting, I'm not really sure what kind of.
Yeah, I really, they're going to have some kind of evidence to overturn the election, even for these extremists to do it. These extremists, I don't think, are going to throw themselves to the wolves in public opinion like that. I just really don't.
We can look at what John Roberts has done. He has surprised the right several times by voting against their interest when they thought he was a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Congrats to you, John Roberts. You did not disappoint the entire country.
A lot of people talk smack about him. I'm not a big fan because he goes both ways, but he's very fair. If not for John Roberts, we probably wouldn't still have Roe v. Wade on a national level.
Right. Yeah. It would be different. Yeah, he's
real
done
quick,
some good.
Sammy Jenkins did to me. Thank you so much for your support. He has a question. He says, not quite a blunt worth, maybe a bong hit for you. Love your work, mate. Thank you, baby Jeebus. Question: if Trump didn't pardon himself, do you think he would really serve prison time?
No.
I don't think so either.
Not on the federal, and I think it would be a tough sell on the state level. And I know that's just going to infuriate Chris when we say these things.
No, there's a reality and the hope.
Yeah.
Andy talks the reality. So I agree. Yeah. I agree. What Andy says is true. My hope is that Andy's just wrong.
we can.
But Andy probably hopes he's wrong, right? Andy would probably like to see himself be wrong.
The worst moments of my life have been when I've turned around and said, "Wow, I was right about that thing. That was horrible."
Yeah. Well, I made some predictions before the election, and I was wrong. It happens.
He's asking a follow-up question. Then what's the point of pardoning himself? And I think it's just because he's paranoid. He thinks he's going to be arrested. And there's a possibility. I mean, he knows that the Southern District in New York, as well as other states, are coming after his businesses. I think he thinks he'll be arrested. And there is always that possibility, but he is a former sitting president. And I just don't think that it would happen, Yeah.
Now, I want to say this. If the roles were reversed, if for some reason a Democratic president was in trouble, the Republicans would try to put that man into jail or that woman into jail.
Absolutely.
Afterwards.
And that's why we need.
It definitely goes to show you Trump understands that he's been breaking the law for 4 years and he's terrified right now. He's terrified. Right.
Well, if you're innocent, why you need a pardon? And like Andy says, man, we need to run up the score on this because that's what they would do. They would go at. He's been going after if he could, he would have arrested Biden and Hillary already months ago. Still might, right? So he's been threatening it. Why the hell aren't we? They haven't done anything illegal. He literally has from the day he got into the office. Before he got into the office, he was doing illegal things, unconstitutional things. Yes, this man needs to go to jail. They need to pursue him. I will be extremely disappointed. I will put my efforts towards being disappointed with the DNC and the people in power if they do not pursue him to their fullest. That's what I say. So say we all.
So say we all.
I agree. And we saw it with Nixon. He got his pardon. We saw it with Junior. Bush Jr. He got, war crime after war crime, and now he gets to paint his paintings and not be the worst president in history anymore.
Just
it's
like Hitler.
I see the same happening with Trump.
Sorry.
I should have brought that analogy in. What am I thinking?
Swing and a miss. Anyway, I really don't compare Hitler to Bush. Some people might, but I don't think there's anything of a comparison. Trump, maybe. Trump, Mussolini, more like Mussolini, more fascist.
Yeah.
Than.
I think the Hitler analogy has always been a bad one, and I've used it. But it is more like Mussolini. More people know Hitler, so people say Hitler. But more like Mussolini.
Well, in certain areas, whenever you talk about how Trump's people act, the brown shirts and the like before the election, before his first term, during the thing, you had the people pitching out dissenters from his thing, just like the brown shirts. I mean, there was a lot of parallels between Trump and Hitler, but his attitude and his personality more reminds me of Mussolini.
I'm going to say this, and this is not the first time I've said it. If it wasn't for COVID-19, Bush the younger would be a worse president. And I know that's like saying if Hitler didn't kill those 6 million Jews, he wouldn't be as bad a guy. But I'm just saying, if it wasn't for COVID-19, I would still hold that Bush the younger was worse president. But that's a moot point now. It's something, I
would argue it too. Yeah, I mean, just given the scope of what happened, I mean, Trump was inept, but Bush was far worse. We have another question from Sammy Jenkins.
Backwards?
Yeah, probably. Andy, you probably be best to answer this one because Sammy Jenkins is trying to understand our system, and he says, would the presidential pardon be a sweeping pardon on anything he has done, even outside of his office as POTUS? As far as I understand it, I think it would be a sweeping pardon on federal crimes, but not state crimes, right?
It would be a federal thing because that's all the president can do is on. And I mean, the most important thing when you think about Trump and you think about the Democrats and you think about whether or not Trump is going to jail, right? Outside of the pardons, one way or the other, it's about who the Democrats are. The Democrats are supporting traditional institutions, right? That's their gig. They're innately, they are passive. You have Joe Biden not even wanting to fight for the fact that he should be getting these White House briefings, these security briefings. I think the Democrats just want to have the presidency, keep what they have in the Senate, or maybe build a little bit more, keep the House, not cause as much troubles, and actually get to work strengthening the institutions of the Republic. So that means trying to ignore Trump as much as possible once he leaves office, maybe, trying to keep somewhat of a leash on him so he doesn't do anything too crazy. But their main goal is not to screw with Donald J. Trump once he becomes not a huge threat. That's what I think. So whether or not
I'm like getting really good questions in my chat. So finish up, and I got another question.
So I think it's a question about, like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, if the Republicans had a chance of putting a Democratic president in jail after they left office, then I would say yes, and I would say that they would push for it hard too, because that's just who that team is. They're aggressive. They are looking to disrupt democratic traditions and institutions. And so it goes right into their playbook.
Yeah. The next question comes from James Hogue. If he resigns, can he run in 2024? I don't think so. Sure. I'm not sure. Why wouldn't he be able to?
Yeah. I mean, once again, we're in what's more important in the country right now is politics than law. So that means, I have a lot of people, liberal friends, who are much smarter than I am. And their knee-jerk reaction is to say, well, that's illegal, or it goes against the law, or it goes against precedent. And to tell you the truth, if the only thing that we've learned in the last 4 years is that it's really about the mob, it's really about politics and what a person can get away with. It's not even about the spirit of the law or the letter of the law. It's about raw politics at this point.
One last question. Does the panel think Trump, if he gave out another stimulus check, would have pushed votes his way?
It makes me, when you, even on the other side, right? I hate Trump. I don't like the Republican Party, but of all the things to balk on, of all the things to screw up, Trump was not doing that badly while the first stimulus package was done. I don't know why. It's on a scale of the French not building the Maginot Line out to the Atlantic. That's the it's like, just give them what they want.
One of the greatest political blunders of all time, right?
It's like, because we dump on Democrats so much because those are our people and it's so clear about how many mistakes they've made. But my fictitious Christ in heaven, why didn't they just sign on to whatever the Democrats wanted so that the Republicans could have gotten a second term? It seems to be like this gross oversight that boggles the brain.
Yeah.
The Blazing Wizard Pope says, I honestly doubt Trump will be alive in 2024. And I just want to take a moment at this point to go, sweet baby Jesus. Please listen to the Blazing Wizard Pope's the words that are coming out of his mouth. They're for everybody's benefit. Okay, back to seriousness. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but that whole second stimulus thing, I didn't understand what those.
Yeah, what the hell?
And right now we probably won't see anything until next year, right? I mean,
easily.
Probably.
And there'll be some kind of reticence by the Senate Republicans, one way or the other, about the stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
Our country right now is getting the most COVID cases per day in history. This is when we need the most help. Our economy is just getting so much better. I mean, wait. All right. So our economy is now even worse on the cusp of collapse. How did this man even remotely get close to winning an election.
And where the hell
Fox
is he
News.
at? Like
Fox
where?
News. He's hiding.
The corona is out of control, and this guy is depressed up in the White House, not letting people say Biden's name. I mean, how does people vote for him, and how do they still want him in there? I don't understand it.
Our presidency, regardless of what you think about it, used to be a noble office. At least on the facade, we all go to the bathroom. You know, we all hiccup, we all burp. We're all humans. We're all people. Obama was a person, and he's fallible, but there was a nobility to the office that has been lost.
Yes,
the president of the United States used to be a figure of like I say, nobility and power around the world. And now the presidency is just it's a farce. It's a joke. It's a hockey puck.
He's a crybaby sitting in the White House.
He's a crybaby
crying.
Yeah.
Tweeting
from his golden throne.
The president, for the person sitting in president, it's a lot about character. And we've talked about this many times on the show, but we'll say it again. The idea, and when I say character, it's about the ability to make a decision in the pocket. Right? Who do you have as your quarterback? Is there someone who's going to panic when he gets rushed? Is he someone who's just going to fumble the ball or just cry in the corner, basically, like Trump is doing right now, and being paralyzed, getting paralysis analysis? And you need someone who has a cool head. They can talk crazy if they want to. Sure, I don't mind that. But when it gets down to this is danger, this is dangerous, Cuban Missile Crisis stuff, Great Recession stuff. If you got to be able to keep a cool head and have good people around you.
Right.
Otherwise, you have this kind of crap going on.
Right. But in his case, he doesn't care about anything. Rome is falling, and this man is going, I want to take the election so I can continue to make Rome fall. Yep. It just boggles my mind. Andy every now and then will point out that it seems like Donald Trump doesn't really want to win. But it also, by the other hand, seems like he really wants to win and will throw the entire nation under the bus to do so. I've been saying 4 months that this would happen, that the plague would be as bad as it would be before and during the election because Trump, so he's literally sacrificing American human lives to keep people from voting against him. I predicted that. And here we are. A man who sacrifices 250, 300,000 lives wants to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to win. He doesn't want to lose. Because he thinks that we can.
That's true. That's a better clarification.
His people are going to follow him, win or lose. And hopefully there are some people, or hopefully not, because but he's going to go on. He's going to create his own network. He's going to throw Fox News under the bus, and he's going to be leading the Republican Party even when he's not in office. We're not done with Trump, unfortunately.
Yep. I hope Trump and his ilk separate themselves from Fox News. Fox News cuddles back up to the real Republicans, the real conservatives, and then Trump creates his Tea Party network, and we all can sit over here and laugh at them. We'll call it the Q network.
Yeah.
Because, right? You picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what it'll be. It'll be conspiracy theories. That's
right.
So
let's say that Trump does his own cable news channel. I'd say within 5 or 10 years, it would absorb Fox News. It would just decimate them. It would. Trump would devour Fox News or destroy Fox News like he destroyed the Republican Party. I don't think that, because the Republican base, evangelicals, are so caught up and addicted. They are addicted to conspiracy theories. That's what they are. So if you had Donald J. Trump spewing out conservative his special brand of QAnon lies, his special evangelical kind of tasty. The lies that evangelicals love to consume, then I think they would consume. I think that they would just beat Fox News at Fox News's game. Just like the Tea Party devoured the Republicans, just as Donald J. Trump devoured the Republican Party. I don't think Fox News would survive in the long term. Not in the way that they are now. Not in the way that they are now.
Well, yeah, because they're talking about pulling their major opinion pieces. Laura Ingraham, Hannity, they would be going to the Trump network.
Oh, yeah, easily. They would go to the Trump, because that's where Trump's people are. That's where the Fox News base is. They have created a monster. And now that the monster is doing monster crap, they're like, well, what are we going to do now? This is the bind they're in.
from what I heard of Hannity yesterday, it's that line. Like Hannity finally seems, oh, we lost, but it was stolen. It was stolen. He's pressing that narrative. Stolen, stolen, stolen. You was cheated. You was cheated. These people are dangerous. The Rush Limbaughs and the Sean Hannitys and the Billy Cunninghams. These people are inciting riots, inciting violence, and inciting a civil war.
Well,
and they're doing it on lies. That's the deal. That they're doing it on lies. If we were to be doing the same thing, because we literally do the same thing they do. We're like, hey, if they steal this election, we need to march on them and we need to do this. You've even been more radical in that department, Nokasuchi, than I have. So we do the same thing they do. It's just the difference is we're doing it because we're literally watching these people try to overthrow our government. We're not just getting it from the thing. We're watching them do it as they file these lawsuits against legitimate election results. And yet on the right, they're doing it built on lies and hypocrisy. And that's the difference. Yeah. They're trying. Our country's already been. There's already been a coup. I said that 4 years ago. There's already been a coup. Now we're fighting to get our country back. Why are we the bad guys when we call them treasonous and when we call them out for their treason?
Yeah, and they've been doing it, I mean, for a lot longer than 4 years, but these 4 years, it has been insanity. You don't hear about Russian collusion on Hannity. You hear how Russian collusion didn't happen, but Obama's going to prison. Obama is a traitor. Collusion. Obama spied on Trump. Obama did this. Obama did that. Obama did this. You don't hear about what's really going on. These it's nothing but false information, propaganda.
Chris, I don't know why you can't be more happy about it or be nicer. Can't you be more nicer about the downfall of the republic, the rise of the theocrats in major federal positions? Why can't you be more nice about that?
We should totally be super nice to the people willing to burn this country. We should be super nice to them.
That's what I get. We get this thing. We try to avoid those things. But then we have these people. I don't like. All across our country, we've got these. I'm still waiting for Trump to call out his people. They're standing by and standing ready. These. Marvel madmen, or what are they, Andy?
I'm not taking the bait.
I tried to.
I'm not taking the bait. Not taking it. Not
this
taking
close.
It.
I'm not going to say blue. Say blue. What colors? What color is his hat? Say blue. Sorry.
My
tried to trick you. No.
I can't
no. You got me. You got me. All right. So, that's kind of the thing. Trump's election right now, though, Trump's running this election campaign and it's like, hey, help me fight this corruption on the left. And so if you send him money, it's going to help fight corruption on the left. But that's not really true. Only if you send him over $8,000 does that money go to help him fighting the corruption on the left. If you send him less than $8,000, that money goes to pay off his election debt from his campaign, and of course to probably Deutsche Bank. So he's literally built. How many of the Trump supporters do you think are out there foaming at the mouth, wanting to stop the left steal the vote? And they're donating money to this thing, not realizing that they're actually donating money to pay off his debts rather than to fight the evil liberals. I wonder if people know that.
Well, I heard he's still bearing Trump's college fund.
Do you have a link you could post in the chat for that? Andy, that would be awesome. That was
I wrote the other day, by the way.
No, but I have heard things about this recount fund to where you pretty much have to give more. I don't know how true and accurate the left has misinformation like the right, and I didn't investigate this at all. But I read yesterday that you have to pretty much give more than $8,000 for any of it to actually go towards the recount. The rest of it goes towards a bunch of other bullshit.
That's the general fund, the Trump general fund.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is. It's just something I read yesterday.
Well, that's what I posted a couple of articles that it's out on CNN and MSNBC that's the case. If you donate less than $8,000 to this fund, it actually doesn't go to fighting the left at all. It doesn't go to investigating or fighting the voter scam none of that. It goes towards paying his thing. That's it.
Yeah, and it was several several different things it goes towards before it actually goes. Because this, I mean, they know this. They're not getting anywhere with this crap in the courts. You know,
Right.
You've got to have enough evidence to overturn the election. You know, not evidence of voter fraud, because that happens every election. You've got to be able to overturn the election.
Right. And something else I want to kind of point out here is that as far as any and all scientific data is concerned, and any research anybody could pull up that you want to on elections, voter fraud, where people are trying to vote twice or something like that, or do whatever that voter fraud we on the left are being accused of, is completely negligent, almost non-existent completely. And the few times you do in the news see people trying to vote fraudulently, they're almost always right-wing people going to a different county and voting again, or we've seen them in the news voting for their dead mother. Right? Their dead mother. So there's but even those cases are tiny. Yet, whenever we talk about voter suppression, that is massive, massive. You're mad because this one person is trying to have two voices, but have no problem with this one politician stomping out 100,000 voices and making it where they can't speak. This is the problem we have with the right.
I just want to let Bad Goy in the chat know that, even if the fascists win and all the Democrats are in prison, you're still working the split shift, brother, at the 7-Eleven. You know, it isn't even going to be a good split shift. It's going to be like you're going to be working from like 7 to maybe 10 in the morning, and then you'll come back in to do like maybe the 3 to 5 shift or something like that. You know, so don't get hard on this. Don't get your hopes up. Your life isn't going to be changing a whole lot after this.
No, and did you guys? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I just want to bring John Funk into the show real quick. He's joined us. There's John. Funky John. Hey guys, so thank you for joining us real quick. Nokasuchi was finishing his thought, and then we'll get you into the show.
I was just going to ask if you saw Laura Ingram's spot from a couple nights ago, where she brought the poll worker, quote unquote, in, clouded the lady completely in shadow to where she's nothing but shadow, changed her voice, and the lady was like, yeah, I'm a poll worker. I was taking a walk, and there was this Biden-Harris van, and the closer I got, I realized they were sitting there filling out ballots by the thousands. And I'm like, really? So I was wondering if you guys saw that.
No, I haven't seen it. No. You guys?
I just want to let you know that I saw Jesus on a piece of toast, too.
Yep. All right, so let me just ask John real quick. What's going on, John? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah,
you got here just in time for us to say goodbye.
I get all my politics from this show and the David Pakman show. So I figured I would take a break from my audiobook narration that I'm working on and just pop in and say hello.
Well, thank you. One of the things you actually made a suggestion of doing recorded video clips similar to the David Pakman show. And I think I would like to discuss that briefly, because one of the things we've been talking about on the show lately is where to go. We had a meeting on the show. I talked about it before the show one day with my guys, our co-hosts. Then we actually had a show where we talked about, listen, we're going to go to politics instead of religion because of the Trump thing. Now, we've been doing that. We officially announced that we've been doing that, but politics are kind of waning for now, off and on, and we're going to start easing back towards the religious conversation and other topics. In doing that, though, I'd like to see if we can get the morning show back kind of into as we go towards religion. But then if I do that David Pakman-esque kind of reporting later, that gives me the opportunity to still address the political issues that are going on in our world.
Yeah, well, I certainly wouldn't want to see you stop the morning show, because this is a good program. I'm not sure. I guess it would just depend on how far you're going to go back into the religious thing. Are you planning on just leaving politics behind as far as the live show goes, or what do you think about that?
You know, we say that until 2 months from now, we've got Trump out on his balcony calling for the Minnesota Marchmen to get out there and do shit. No, I can't say that. You know, and that's the whole thing, that the politics and religion are so intertwined in this country that it's really unfair to try to pin me just to politics, because the politics are using religion to drive us all. If it weren't for the evangelical vote, we wouldn't have the problem. Well, Trump wouldn't be in office. And I can say that now. You know, so I don't really know. I think we're just going to leave it. I've talked with my people so far, and we're just going to leave it at Daily Atheist Morning Show, and we're going to talk about these topics, and whatever comes up, we're going to talk about. You know, this Just how it is, I think.
One of the things that we all do is we try to figure out how we're going to get a video to go viral. And I just think with your personality, if you were to try to work that David Pakman angle where you were, one of the things he does is he looks for breaking news in politics, and he stops what he's doing and he pumps out a video real quick. And he's one of the first ones to get it out there. And that's why that can be a very good way to play it. If you wait for breaking news and you make a video and yours is one of the first ones out there, that can be a way to get that viral video. So my gut instinct is that you would do well with that. So I'm not really sure.
In a way, that's kind of what we started doing. I stopped titling and building the shows the day before, and I waited because the news would happen and something would happen in the news. And today we're talking about basket weaving when aliens are attacking. We're like, well, let's not talk about aliens because I made the title of the show basket weaving. So I started waiting until the next morning and watching what has hit the news, and then doing just like you say, be the first one out there doing a show on that topic. Again, that's a live show. We're talking about different things, and I like what you're talking about. That'll give me different fodder in a different area. Let me keep my move back in the other direction.
It would be a good way for you to boost the show and direct people towards the show with those edited clips. GE, Godless Engineer, talked about this is how he blew up his channel. He would wait for the William Lane Craig dude. William Lane Craig dude would do something or say something, and GE would make sure I'm the first person putting a video out about this, and that brought the atheist to him, right? So like what John is saying is spot on.
Yeah.
And David Pakman at this point, he has a crew that helps him and everything, but that's totally unnecessary. A man with a laptop and a webcam could do the same thing that he's doing if they had the passion for it. And of course, you're further along than that, but I just feel that if you run with that something's likely to happen. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, I'm all about creating more content. Andy has recommended doing these shorts, and I've started doing the shorts. They're not that hard. I can rattle off and I can do them. They seem to be doing a little help, anything to help grow the channel. I'm keen to get the show up.
Let's say that Trump does the next absurd thing, right? The next breaking news headline. He does some stupid thing. He says some stupid thing. If you were to catch that real early on and put your own twist on it and get your video out there, it could very easily rank up with the suggested videos. So I hope that you do that. And I think you're going to hit a home run. I think you're going to have a viral video if you put some time and effort into that.
What I like about John Funk is that John Funk is always very positive.
He's positive.
Positive person. That's what I appreciate.
I agree with everything he says, and I appreciate your confidence in me and the ability to do that. I've been actually eyeballing green screens so I can have more of a news-esque kind of look behind me and do that, sort of like a newsroom. I watched one of his little videos. I'll probably study them more. But I've been considering those kind of things. There's been a lot going on with the election. I'm actually in school. I got college classes. And a lot of people don't realize what it takes technically to put together another show. So I'm going to do another thing, but there's a lot I got to add to it. I've got to really build another show and then record it, edit it, produce it. It's not, and then now the first time is going to be the biggest, hardest time. After that, I got it all in templates and be like, I record it and I drop it in there and I already got the front and I already got the end and but it'll take, like you said, it'll take time and effort to get it going. I think it may be worth it. I'm going to look into it because I'm very passionate. Yeah. I didn't want to do politics. I fought it for a long time until it just became more absurd.
And there's another guy, if you want to just do some investigation, there's another guy, I'm not sure what his name is, but he does a show called Secular Talk. And he's big now. He's got over 1 million subscribers. But look into him because he does a show where it's secular kind of values and everything he's talking about, but he covers politics as well. So you might want to look into his show if you're doing some investigation.
Yeah, Kyle Kalinski's one of my favorites. Yeah. He calls some crap with this election. He was a don't vote Biden dude, but spot on his politics. I've been following Kyle since he was right around 100,000 subscribers. Young Turks helped him become who he is, but he is his own man. He has his own politics, and he does speak. It's a show to where he can cover everything. He can cover atheism or lack of belief or religious topics. But it's secularism. Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about, since we're on this topic, if we got a few minutes left, let's talk about it. So now, do we spoil the Daily Atheist with this thing here? I've got another channel. I could literally start what do I call that other? He's got the David Pakman. Do I call it the Chris Mallard show? and keep
That
it
could
completely
work.
separate and drop it over on the Chris Mallard channel. I really like figuring out these logistics. See, Andy's saying no, and I get that because we're trying to drive to a place. Critical Cripple once advised me not to do split channels, and I followed his advice. I think I don't regret doing it. Now, I did do a split channel for the Chris Mallard just so I could put my recorded content over there, the Evil God Monster of Abraham. Over here, it gets lost. There's so many videos coming and going that nobody sees it, but over there I put over, and it's doing fine over there, but I don't really do it. But
generally you want to focus on one thing.
One thing. Let me tell you about my experience with trying to do
these are
double
different
channel.
things, right?
I am doing book reviews a lot, and I realized that there's a big market for just covering fiction. And I was covering fiction and nonfiction on one channel. So I thought, you know what? I'll split this up. I'll do a fiction channel and a nonfiction channel. I thought it was a great idea. Not a very good idea. Later on today, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the nonfiction channel. It's just too much to keep up with if you get too many channels going. So I'm just going to introduce nonfiction back into my now fiction channel and go back with what I had going before. But I would not recommend that you do what you were talking about. I would stick with this channel. This channel is what has potential.
I will say this, is that I've had difficulty keeping the blog. I mean, my blog is doing well. I'm well over 100,000 hits for this month so far. And but it is difficult to wrap my mind around high quality comedy on the blog while still thinking about and being guests on shows. So, you know, I was a guest on several shows recently. I'm a guest on a show later on today, and it's difficult to cognitively juggle all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I see your point there, Critical Cripple, about not getting monetized until you are not doing it until you're monetized. Yeah. And I get you guys' point too about doing it with the not creating a separate channel and all that. It's just that it's already muddy. That was kind of the point of doing it separately. You know, I don't know. There's a lot to think about.
It's not a real problem for you to do like the science fiction channel, because that's just a whole different thing, and you have a passion for that. So I can see that actually working. But to split two different channels that are secular, politic kind of thing, that would be too much, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'll have to put some mental effort into it.
So if you're doing like what John is suggesting, waiting for breaking news and only doing edited clips in the Pac-Man fashion about the breaking news, those edited small little videos are going to hit the algorithm in a different way and bring different viewers to your channel.
Right. Which is what we've been doing with the shorts video.
Yeah.
That is true. And I'm not an expert on this by anyone's calculation, but it can be hard to get a live broadcast, the amount of attention that those recorded videos get. I don't know exactly the technicalities of how that works, but I think that just generally speaking, there's more potential for viewership with a recorded program.
Well, the thing is that people really like the 3-act structure, and they like, the drama of a story, regardless of you're talking about, let's say, Holy Kool-Aid doing a story about the Tower of Babel, a video about the Tower of Babel, or any other kind of subject matter. When you're doing a live show, it is much more gossamer. It's a lot more ethereal in terms of staying interesting and at least for me, funny for like a solid hour, as against to being able to think about. Well, John, you've read some of my material in terms of my short stories and stuff like that. It is a very different medium. It's in a way easier to do a just a simple pre-written kind of shtick than just riffing live. It's two different pieces altogether.
Yeah, and another thing about that is, like, when you're doing this morning show, you've got to do it for the hour. But if you're doing a recorded program, you can actually work on it for a while, step away, and come back to it, and it's not a problem. So there's just a lot of functionality with a recorded program. I favor the recorded broadcasts.
And I do recorded shows, all those things, and I'm not against those things, but there's like contrary, I mean, the one thing the advice you just said was contrary to the whole point of getting that news out there as quick as you can, so you're in the top of the algorithm. You can't set it aside and go wait with that recorded video. You need to get it out as, I can't go, oh, Trump did something silly today, but I'm going to pause on this for a day or two and then make the video. I need to do it now, and I get that totally.
Yeah,
but later on,
assuming that you're not only jumping on the latest broadcast, you can have some projects that you work on over time. Of course, if you're jumping on the latest.
You do know that I have various series on this channel, including the Evil God Monster of Abraham series, the Quickie with the Skeptic series. You know about that, right? I mean, because you're talking like this is all I do.
You even have one with your dog that you put up recently, if I'm right.
Well, that's part of the new shorts videos. Then that was part of Andy's thing. But I mean, you're my channel. The whole first year of my channel was nothing but scripted videos, and you're talking like I don't know how to do a scripted video. Like live is all I got. I'm just letting you know.
It's defensive sometimes.
That I got a whole bunch of scripted videos that you may check out and look at and see that I actually do the things. Now they didn't exactly hit off like you're saying I should. They would. Matter of fact, my literally second video that I ever produced is about how us liberals need to stop fighting with each other and focus so we can start being together, but we're too busy fighting with each other.
I want to fight with you on that point, Chris, right now. I want to fight with you about not fighting because I am pro fighting. Other people fighting, perhaps.
Well, I'm not necessarily trying to be defensive. I'm just saying that I agree with what you're just saying and where you're talking about going. I just give me the credit that I have done what you're talking about.
Here's what I see is that you have great potential because I recognize that you're a lot better with the technical aspect of using the computer and putting a program together. You're years ahead of me probably on all of that. And I know that you've done some with the recorded programs, but I think that if you were to jump on that breaking news, that might be a better scenario to actually get one to go viral than
I agree with John.
Me too.
I do. And I recognize that you have talent with all this. You've got more talent than I do. And I can just see that something's going to happen with you. If you change it up a little bit and try maybe some other stuff, I think something's going to catch for you. And you know what's great? Like on Pac-Man's show now, if you can take it next level, when he does his live programs, there's so much money coming in through those super chats.
Aware. Yeah, I'm crazy aware. I'm crazy. My deal is I'm now like Nokasuchi understands. He's doing his own OBS now. Other people who get more into it know. To be honest, I got to be honest. I'm so getting overwhelmed. I'm great at the tech part. I got some decent personality, but I don't know how to do all the social media and the advertising. I've got a product I can sell, but I don't know how to advertise and make it go. And I'm just,
I have to tell you,
it's infuriating.
It's driving me crazy. I need help. I need a partner who knows how to do those things.
I don't. And I'm going to bring this to World War II because that's what I do. The Germans over-engineered their tanks. Their tanks were good when they ran, but the thing is, once they fell apart or they had a minor problem, it took forever to fix them. The best tank of the war, arguably, was a T-34 tank in Russia, and it was a simple tank. It was ugly on the inside. It had a stick, gun, and pedals.
Oh, okay. Analogy, quick.
So I think that if we run contests on this channel, it will do by far more things to get buzz and to build up viewership than anything else. That one thing. And in a purely scientific manner, we want to see what that one variable does. So you focus on one variable at a time, you will be able to see what the relationship is, whether or not that thing that you did actually does anything.
But we also have, to point this out, we also have metrics that will tell us too. And I say that because I can do what John says, and depending on how I tag my videos and such and put them in things, my metrics will tell me, is it like your shorts hashtag is what's driving your thing. Yeah, my David Pac-Man story hashtag, whatever we're gonna call it, that show, that'll drive the thing too, I mean, but I think it's a multi-prong approach. I think you are correct, Andy. I'm gonna look into Streamloots, but I think I see an overall strategic picture, and each one of the things you guys are talking about is a specific tactic that I would like to employ into the overall strategy. I want to do YouTube advertising on Jimmy Snow's live streams if I could. I would like to do, or the ACA's live streams if I can. I would like to do what John is saying here, create my own little news channel like Pac-Man and news shows and do those. And also do the shorts like Andy said. I'm already doing them. Have them drop one every day. I plan on doing all those things. I think all of those are great ideas. There's just not enough of me to go around.
I like what Andy said here.
Not enough time in the day.
You've got some different ideas here. He's given you an idea with some contests, and I've talked about some things. You might just want to just try some stuff and see which one of the angles catches the best.
To be honest, I don't have time to do them all.
No, you don't. That's why you only focus on one at a time.
And I can help you with the social media thing. I've become a master of Facebook.
So which do I do?
I've gotten pretty good with the YouTube advertising as well. So I'll talk to you about that after the program.
Right. Well, thankfully the morning show takes care of itself. My friends Andy and Nokasuchi have really, I was telling the wife the other day, just by having these guys and not having to wrangle guests every day, have so made the morning show where it used to be a burden and I was burning out, and now it's not. I mean, I just make the gifts. I've burdened myself by making these damn gifts every day, but other than that, it's not so bad. So the morning show takes care of itself. I believe what Andy's talking about. I was actually planning on getting on the Streamloots. Andy's talking about doing giveaways to help spur the channel. There's already a place designed to do that. I could reinvent the wheel, or I could go and look on what they're talking about. So I'm going to go look and see about employing that into our show. Nokasuchi's showing off. He's got his chat and they're giving away points. And I'm like, points? How come those bastards get points? I don't get no points. You know what I mean? So I see they're correct. Andy's doing we're both getting hits off of these shorts we're doing. Yeah. I got time. It don't take that long. How long would it take? Now, like I said, the original one of setting up the new Chris Packman show, whatever we want to call it, we know what we're talking about when I say that. I got to set up the initials of it, the backgrounds and the scene or whatever I'm going to do in that recording, and then I can start cranking those out too. It's not like, I can do it all. That's what I need. I need to find somebody to worry about the social media part and doing advertising and all that so I can focus on content creation.
I can help you with the social media. I'm wondering if you shouldn't do a David Packman style breaking news episode for this channel and see how it does. I'm not sure if you'd want to do that or not, but I could see that maybe working out because you already have a fan base here on this one.
Yeah. In pieces, maybe, as we go forward. All caps Bible. You want to see the all caps Bible? Ian, you want me to close the show out? I'll close the show out with the all caps Bible. For Ian, because he asked nicely. All caps Bible. Okay, so we'll run that in a minute. All right, guys. So thank you all for your advice. Now you know where my mind's headed. If I do take the Daily Atheist Morning Show, as we've discussed, I think Andy's got something on his mind.
I don't. I'm just looking. I'm just here.
Okay. Well, as we've talked about it before, we're going to try to move it back to religion and that sort of thing. But as politics comes up, we will talk about it. That's just how it's going to be. So we're going to do that. But I like these other ideas of running these other things in Streamloots. I'm probably going to do the Streamloots, follows Andy's advice, but then that gets a little complicated. I'll be able to run Streamloots in my chat. Will I be able to run it across all three chats? I don't know. You may have to come to my chat to play the game. I don't know how that works. If I like our polls, I can't get the poll to run across all three chats. I can only get it to run across my chat, so people have to come to my chat. And part of this is growing the entire community, the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I tell you, can you imagine what it would do for my channel if I could somehow, I don't know how it would happen, if I could somehow talk GE and Jimmy Snow into letting me broadcast the Daily Atheist Morning Show on their channels? Can you believe what that would do for our show? Jimmy Snow don't even know we're live. But, so, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're going to run the commercial. Before we run the commercial, I just want to get from everybody. Andy, what do you got going on? Something big this weekend?
I've been on a bunch of shows lately. I'm going to be on a show, a podcast at 11:30 today. And I'm getting my brain ready to be funny. I was on the Harmonic Atheists YouTube channel. Well, we recorded yesterday, and we talked about my own personal story, talked about I talked about things that I don't usually talk about. And so, because I like making fun of other people and ideas, but I don't really talk about myself a whole lot, not in a kind of a serious but funny way. So that video is going to be up sometime next week, and I'll plug it when it actually comes out. And so, I've just been concentrating on, of course, I did my Krabby Patty short video yesterday, in case you're a fan of SpongeBob SquarePants. I did the Ultra Krabby Patty video, which I did with my kids months and months ago before I became a vegetarian, but I had it kicking around, and I thought, who doesn't want to see what an Ultra Krabby Patty looks like? It was pretty crazy.
Cool. Nokasuchi, what do you got going on, bro? Anything fancy?
Let me unmute. Today I'm taking the day off from streaming today. I was and not too late, but I was in a room last night. I was pretty much streaming all day yesterday. So today will be in one of my edited videos that's on Patreon. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to be looking at. It's a very good chance I'll be looking at the hilarity with Von Helton last night. I've never seen somebody so triggered so quickly over so little. So I'll probably show that tomorrow.
Excellent.
Okay, cool. And you, John?
Yeah,
You got
so
anything going on?
I've basically stepped away from my Atheist Incorporated channel right now. Like you're saying, Chris, there's only so much time to get things done. And I've been focusing on my literary channel, Reading Funk, here on YouTube. I've started narrating things. I'm going to be working on my first two projects. I'm actually working on them now. I'm going to be reading The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm also going to be reading Cynthia Watson's Ghost Story by Andrew Hall. So I've got those coming out here, and I'm also going to be interviewing a best-selling author, Richard Chismar. He wrote a book with Stephen King. He has some literary publications and everything. He's going to come on and chat with me on Wednesday. So if you're into books at all, if you're into poems or audiobooks, anything of that nature, check me out on YouTube, Reading Funk, right here on YouTube. That's all I got.
Wonderful. Right now, Critical Cripple is gonna, guys all know Dave, Critical Cripple. He's gonna run a stream after this. So if you're not hooked up with Dave, click down in the description, go over to his channel near the bottom of our description. Go to his channel and watch his stream. He's usually got some funny questions and stuff. He's got a good show. He rides back and forth on this exercise ball, and if you watch his head, it's like a one of those guys with a snake, and you'll start rocking back and forth with him. It's really fun. I get lost. Anyway, go check out Dave's channel and enjoy some of his stuff. We're gonna off to say the word. We're gonna run the All Caps Bible. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you Monday, unless craziness happens between now and then. Have a good one.
Do you love Jesus? Do you love America? Do you love yelling at strangers? If you answered yes, then there is a new version of the good book for you. The All Caps Bible. The All Caps Bible has everything from the sacred text you would expect. God creates the world in 6 days. Noah saves bunnies from the great flood. Jesus preaches God's message in the Sermon on the Mount. However, the All Caps Bible levels up the message by putting everything in all caps. That's right, you don't have to go to church to hear God's message yelled at you. This Bible will yell at you while you're reading it. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Christians love the All Caps Bible. Here are a few reviews. Mason in Dallas, Texas says, I don't feel guilty anymore yelling at the Starbucks barista. Karen in Oklahoma says, Jesus' message of forgiveness is better when you yell it. And Tommy in South Bend says, who knew the little drummer boy was such a jerk? Buy the All Caps Bible right now and get a loudspeaker so you too can spread the good news. You get everything for a low cost of $89.99. Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Cindy Plaza and Ian Davenport. Thank you and have a great day.